Literature with Purva. In this video, we are going to talk about Samuel Beckett's famous play, Waiting for Godot. Waiting for Godot is one of the most celebrated plays of the 20th century. It belongs to the theatre of the absurd. Whether you're pursuing your masters or preparing for UGC NET, Waiting for Godot is a very important play. In this video, we are going to discuss the detailed summary of the play, the themes of the play, and the genre to which the play belongs. So watch the video till the end, and if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, then do subscribe to it and hit the bell icon so that you never miss an update. So let's begin with a brief introduction to Samuel Beckett. Samuel Beckett was born in Dublin, Ireland. He wrote most of his work in French. He befriended James Joyce and helped him in writing Finnegan's Wake. Samuel Beckett started his literary career as a novelist, and he was also awarded the Nobel Prize for his contribution in literature. So Waiting for Godot was initially published in French, and the title of the play was An Attendant Godot, and it was published in 1952. Then Samuel Beckett himself translated the play in English so that it can reach a wider audience, and he also added the subtitle, which is a tragicomedy in 2 acts. It's very important to remember the subtitle of the play, Waiting for Godot, a tragicomedy in 2 acts. Now the setting of the play is very simple and minimal. It is very different from the setting of the Shakespearean plays or the Jacobean plays. So what we can see is a mound of earth, an open road, and a tree. So that's it about the setting. The play has only 2 acts, and the 2 main characters of the play are Vladimir and Estragon. Now Vladimir is also known as Didi, and Estragon is also called Gogo. So other 2 characters that we will come across in the play are Lucky and Pozzo. And apart from these 4 characters, we have a messenger boy and we have the character of Godot. But Godot never appears on the stage in the play. So these are the 6 characters that are in the play. Now Vladimir and Estragon are 2 tramps. Tramps are people who don't have any home, who don't have any money, who go from one place to another place and ask other people for money. So Vladimir and Estragon are 2 tramps without any home, without any identity. So Samuel Beckett has not given any nationality or not talked about the past life of these 2 characters. So that's very important to remember. So there are 2 acts in the play. So let's begin with Act 1. Act 1 begins with the reunion of the 2 tramps, Vladimir and Estragon. We see that Estragon is struggling to remove his boots and gets exhausted. The first words of the play uttered by Estragon are, "Nothing to be done." These words, "nothing to be done," captures the theme of existentialism of the play. We'll discuss the theme of the play in detail later. On the other hand, we see that Vladimir is moving with short, stiff strides with his legs apart because he is suffering from enlargement of the prostate gland. And the way he's walking reminds us of the king of comedy, Charlie Chaplin. On their meeting, Vladimir and Estragon embrace each other. Estragon informs that he had been beaten by some people. Now here the word beaten refers to human suffering. So throughout the play we see that Vladimir and Estragon are occupied with their own problems. Estragon with his boots and Vladimir with his intense urge to pass water as he suffers from kidney ailments. Now in order to pass time, Vladimir decides to tell the story of the 2 thieves in the Bible to Estragon. One of the thieves was saved and the other was damned. Estragon on the other hand sees the colored maps in the Bible. Vladimir reminds Estragon that they are waiting for Godot. Now, Godot is a mysterious person. We don't know who Godot is and what the two tramps exactly wants Godot to do for them. But however, we can see that they are waiting for Godot. But both Vladimir and Estragon keep contradicting each other about their time and place of appointment with Godot. In order to pass time, Vladimir and Estragon decide to commit suicide. The situation turns humorous when both of them urge each other to commit suicide first. Finally, both of them give up and rather they decide to wait for Godot. Estragon wonders exactly what do they want Godot to do for them, just like we audience are wondering. At that point, Estragon feels hungry and Vladimir gives him a carrot. During that time, both the tramps hear a terrible cry. Lucky enters the stage driven by Pozzo by means of a rope. Pozzo, a local landlord, introduces himself in a highly dramatic manner which shows his pride and pompous attitude. Pozzo sees Lucky as a beast of burden. Pozzo feasts on chicken and wine and throws the discarded bones to Lucky. Estragon feels pity for Lucky and tries to wipe his tears, but Lucky kicks him violently. Estragon starts bleeding and howling in pain. He replaces the weeping Lucky. At that point, Pozzo turns philosophical and says, "The tears of the world are a constant quantity. For each one who begins to weep, somewhere else another stops." Because we can see that the moment Estragon starts weeping, Lucky stops crying. Pozzo tells Lucky to dance for Vladimir and Estragon. Lucky presents a funny dance and entertains Vladimir and Estragon. After watching Lucky's dance, Vladimir and Estragon wants Lucky to think. Pozzo says that Lucky cannot think without his hat on. Then Lucky delivers a long monologue. Some of the key points of Lucky's speech are: we are told that God exists and loves us, but we cannot be sure. We work, play, apply our logic, yet all of our activities cannot avert decay and death. The physical world of earth, fire, water, and air is indifferent to man. No matter how much we try, we cannot make sense of life and the fact that we all will die. So these are the key points from Lucky's monologue. After Pozzo and Lucky leave, a messenger boy comes to the stage towards the end of Act 1. He says that he is the messenger of Godot. So the audience is relieved that Godot indeed exists. But at the same time, the messenger boy conveys the message to Vladimir and Estragon that Godot will come tomorrow. Estragon says, "Off we go again." That shows us that the messenger boy had been there before carrying the exact same message. It is night. Vladimir and Estragon are relieved that now they can rest and sleep. They decide to leave but do not move. The curtain falls. And that's the end of Act 1. In Act 2, we can see that the tree which was leafless in the first act has 4 or 5 leaves. It shows the seasonal cycle and the passage of time. Estragon has forgotten everything that has happened in the previous day. In order to pass time, Vladimir and Estragon decides to reenact the Lucky Pozzo drama. Vladimir decides to play Lucky and tells Estragon to curse him the same way Pozzo curses Lucky in Act 1. They play many more such games to pass time. At that point, Lucky and Pozzo enters. Now we can see that Pozzo has become blind and is led by Lucky. So the roles have clearly reversed. Lucky and Pozzo falls down and cry for help. Vladimir and Estragon try to help them, but they also fall down. Pozzo, in his blindness, has understood the meaning of life. Life is a mere series of meaningless, repetitive activities. The journey from womb to tomb is a struggle and full of miseries. After Lucky and Pozzo leave, Vladimir starts thinking about his own pitiful condition. Just like the first act, again a messenger boy comes to the stage with the same message from Godot that Godot will come tomorrow. Vladimir asks him if Godot has a beard, to which the boy replies that Godot has white beard. Disappointed with Godot's non-arrival and the futility of wait, Vladimir and Estragon decide to leave so that they can again come back the next day and again wait for Godot. So they are completely tired to waiting for Godot without knowing that whether Godot will show up one day. So they decide to leave but do not move. The curtain falls. So that's the end of Act 2. So this is the detailed summary of the play that you must remember. So now let's look at the genres to which the play belongs. Now Waiting for Godot is a tragicomedy because it combines tragic and comic elements. The play is a tragedy because it is a metaphor of one's own tragic self, the self that is caught up in the endless process of decay and destruction, the utter meaninglessness of life. So Samuel Beckett handles such a tragic situation comically through Vladimir's Chaplinesque gait, the monologues, the dialogues, the various games that they play. And through all these things, he tries to present the tragic situation comically. So you can remember while discussing the summary, I was telling that how Vladimir and Estragon were urging each other to commit suicide first, which makes the situation humorous. So suicide is a tragedy, but the way Beckett presents it with the two tramps trying to urge each other to commit suicide first becomes a comedy. So that is why the play is a tragicomedy. Waiting for Godot belongs to the theatre of absurd. An absurd play deals with the irrational nature of life. According to absurdist playwrights, we are born without wanting to be born and we die without seeking to die. So they deal with the utter purposelessness of life. And Waiting for Godot is a classic example of the theatre of absurd. Waiting for Godot is an existentialist play. Existentialism portrays man as thrown into this world as a diseased animal. The very fact that he is conscious all the time is his disease. It opposes all forms of utopian thinking. The constant and futile waiting of Vladimir and Estragon for Godot is reenacted twice in the play. We don't know who Godot is and what Vladimir and Estragon wants Godot to do for them, but we can see that they are waiting for Godot constantly day after day. Their constant waiting for Godot signifies humanity's vain hope for salvation. Then the way Vladimir and Estragon pass time shows the utter meaninglessness of life and the struggle that existence is. According to existentialism, suffering is an inseparable part of human condition. We can also see that all the four characters, Vladimir, Estragon, Lucky and Pozzo, are suffering from some or the other physical ailment. Now let's take a look at the themes of the play. The primary theme of the play Waiting for Godot is time. The subject of the play is not Godot but waiting. Waiting as an important aspect of human condition. We human beings are always waiting for something or the other, and Godot represents the objective of our waiting, whether we are waiting for a person or an event or a thing or death. And when we wait for something, it is during those moments that we can feel the passage of time. Waiting for Godot is also viewed as a Christian play. It is often interpreted as a religious parable where Godot signifies God. Vladimir and Estragon are waiting faithfully for an elusive God who promises salvation but who never arrives. But still, they keep on waiting. The tree that we can see on the stage can represent death, crucifixion, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and when there are green leaves on the tree, it can represent the tree of life. So therefore, Waiting for Godot is also seen as a Christian play. So that's it for today's video. I hope you understood the summary, the plot, the genre and the themes of the play. If you found the video helpful, then do like it and share with all your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos on English literature. I will be back with a new video soon on this channel. So stay tuned to Learning Literature with Purva, and thanks for watching.